The Model United Nations is a worldwide simulation of university students coming together to look into the world's issues, to look at ways to investigate, to examine, and eventually to find solutions for the problems that the real United Nations looks at. Everything from environmental issues to border controls to trade negotiations. It is the highest quality and the largest Model United Nations simulation in the world, and its entire goal is simply to give experience to the next generation of diplomats.
This class was different than you were dropped in with a group of people and it became very personal. Like, you got to know everyone.
I thought it would be a very interesting opportunity to be able to first off travel to New York, and then I also thought that it would be a lot of fun to work with other students who had similar interests as myself.
Well, the cool aspect, I mean, it's a totally different class compared to the other one. It wasn't lecture. It was full participation class the whole time. You got to sit there and debate with one another. You got to come up with some controversial points. You didn't have to stay with the norm.
A lot of other groups or countries from other universities said, wow, you guys are so close. Everyone, you always hang out together and you're so close. And it wasn't that we didn't want to meet anybody else, because we all met different people in our councils and brought them in, but everyone always, you know, commented how close we were, which is something that I thought was really cool, because we were all so different. Everyone's in different years. I didn't know anybody in that class, and I feel like I have this huge group of friends
It's
now.
actual practical experience, and you get a trip to New York.
Great! Live New York! Saturday night!
You set aside the actual simulations, and I think everyone there had one of the most fun weeks of their lives. It was just a good group of people, and we joked, we went and toured around together, and just hung out and made some great friends.
Statue of Liberty.
Yeah, we went on the rainy day to
Yes.
Ground Zero on the Statue
Oh,
of
that
Liberty.
really set the mood.
It's not as intimidating a place as you would think it would be. It's actually quite relaxed.
New York was really cool. I miss it. I want to go back.
This is our first delegation to the National Model UN competition. We have 24 students present and 25 enrolled in the course. We were assigned 2 countries. We were too big for one state and not quite big enough for a really big state. So we're representing Benin, which is a country in Western Africa, and Kiribati, which most of us had to look up on a map when we were assigned it, but it is one of the South Pacific nation states, island states, and has a population actually of about 85,000 people, so it's very small. But we're finding in the United Nations context, where each state represents one vote, even small states like Kiribati can have a large impact within committee, depending on the issues and how proactive their diplomats are in representing the issues of the state.
Minutes. Thank you, Honorable Chair and delegates. The Republic of Kiribati would like to note the United Nations Literacy Decades Plan of Action outlines how effective and significant.
The Republic of Benin would first like to commend everyone on their hard work and cooperation thus far. However, the Republic of Benin believes that further attention and focus.
The Republic of Kiribati is the most affected nation. Is the most affected nation by climate change. We have several islands that have been submerged by rising.
The Republic of Benin understands the importance of creating sustainable energy sources for future generations. We fully support the need to allow for education and technology to be shared between developed.
I think it's really set a tone for the delegates when the Secretary General said, you know, you come in as junior members of the delegation and leave as ambassadors. I mean, that's powerful.
If your major isn't in politics, it would be beneficial just to become a responsible global citizen, to understand issues and understand how the world works together.
I think this course it expanded my global awareness in a big way. I think that, you know, I didn't know half these countries existed. And, you know, going to this Model UN, I was able to see, you know, the entire globe in a bigger way.
Being a great North American, like,
You only really learn about the Western states. Like, I've had the privilege to actually go to China, Japan, and the UK, so I know a little bit, but it's not like I've gone to any third world countries or anything, and to now learn about the policies and just the ideals that these countries have to face, it's definitely a bit eye-opening.
It's pretty unreal to be able to just be in the UN building and know how many decisions, major decisions that have influenced the world have happened right in those seats.
The point of going to the Model UN, I think, is to get a better understanding of the world, and I think through this competition you really do get that, especially through researching your small countries and the countries around you and meeting other people and understanding like the country they come from and the countries they're researching.
I thought it was really neat to be able to go and sit in the UN General Assembly room, and we got to sit at the Canada desk, and so that was really neat, and that's not an experience you can have anywhere else in the world. No matter how great they do, it's never going to be the same as that. So I think it was really beneficial for us to go to New York and experience that.
It's an actual organization, you know, they actually do things. They're not making this up. It's not a part of the newspaper that's just, it's for jokes. It's real.
It's easy to talk about diplomacy in class, but to experience it is a whole different scenario, and you get to think about the things that you learn and try and put that in practice, and whether it works or it doesn't work, well, that's up to you and how you implement those things. So I would encourage anyone in a second to just, how many opportunities do you have?
In the meantime, I hope you carry what you learned home with you. Just because the conference is over does not mean that you are no longer ambassadors for change. Continue your work to make the world a better place. And thank you for making this week incredible.